Is it possible to reverse the damage that excessive pornography consumption has caused to your brain? If you're one of the millions of men who have unconsciously consumed pornography for years, you may be wondering if it's possible to reverse the negative effects it has had on your mind. The answer is a resounding yes, as demonstrated by numerous studies. Now that we know there's light at the end of the tunnel, the next logical question is, how can we reverse these effects as quickly as possible and restore our reward system to its natural state? A state where we're not constantly thinking about turning to porn, where we can focus more and better, where we're motivated to adopt good habits like exercising, reading, or meditating, and where we have the initiative to satisfy our sexual needs in real life with people who attract us. The recovery time depends greatly on each case. It's not the same to have consumed 5 minutes a week for 10 years as it is to have consumed 1 or 2 hours a day. However, generally speaking, positive changes start to be experienced after the first month, and by the third month, the brain begins to solidify new mechanisms. But as I mentioned, it all depends on you, your habits, and how seriously you take this matter. Today, we're going to see the keys to achieving this change in the most effective way and in the shortest time possible. Let's get into it. 1. Identify and control your triggers. What are triggers? Triggers are situations or events that activate your need to consume pornography almost automatically. These can be as simple as seeing an attractive girl on social media, being in front of the computer at a specific time of day, or simply being alone at home. The problem with triggers is that they are automatic and often unconscious. You might find yourself consuming pornography almost without realizing it, just because something in your environment triggered that desire. How can you control these triggers? The first step is to identify them. Take some time to reflect and make a list of the moments or situations when you feel most tempted to consume pornography. Once you've identified them, the next step is to create a pattern interruption. This means introducing an activity that breaks the trigger cycle. For example, if your trigger is being alone at home, your pattern interruption could be going for a walk, doing 50 push-ups, or meditating for 20 minutes. Another useful technique is to use physical reminders, like sticky notes on your computer or phone, that remind you not to give in to temptation. You can also install apps that block access to pornographic content during certain times of the day. It's necessary to take a few minutes to recognize these triggers and write down how you're going to interrupt them when they appear. This way, it will be much easier for you to avoid relapses. Remember, the key is to be proactive, not reactive. Anticipate the situations where you might relapse and have an action plan ready. 2. Define your safety nets. At this point, you may be wondering how to manage your masturbation habits and if it's harmful to consume pornography occasionally. There are no conclusive studies that say consuming porn sporadically is harmful, but it is clear that consuming a little can lead you to lose control and end up consuming much more. That's why it's important to be cautious. This is where safety nets come in. These nets consist of creating a series of rules for yourself that allow you to have control over your masturbation habits without them getting out of hand. The idea is that if you break one rule, you have a second and a third to help you maintain control. How do these safety nets work? Here's an example. First net, stimulate using only your imagination. This is the ideal scenario, as you don't depend on external stimuli. Second net, if you can't stick to the first, allow the use of content from Instagram or social media, which is less explicit and less dopamine-inducing than porn. Third net, if you need something more, allow the use of pornographic photos but avoid videos. Fourth net, if you reach this point, limit the consumption of pornographic videos to just 5 minutes. Place a post-it on your computer screen that says 5 minutes to remind you of this rule. The key here is to have a plan and be aware of your actions. It's not about being perfect, but about having a strategy to maintain control. Reflect and define how you're going to handle this habit. There's nothing wrong with it, but it can become dangerous if not managed carefully. Remember that these safety nets are a tool to help you better manage your impulses and maintain control over your actions. 3. Cut the problem at the root. You need to reduce pornography consumption completely, at least for a month. This sounds easy, but it's not that simple. If you're a regular consumer, your brain will desperately crave those dopamine hits, so it's crucial to cut this habit at the root. The reason is that pornography acts as a super stimulus, flooding your brain with abnormal levels of dopamine, the pleasure hormone. This not only creates a cycle of dependence, but also desensitizes your reward system, making everyday healthy activities like exercise or social interaction feel less pleasurable. Most men who decide to quit porn do so without a plan and without much conviction, and generally, they relapse before the first week is over. This is because their brain is used to receiving immediate and powerful gratification every time they consume pornography. That's why it's essential to make a firm commitment to yourself not to consume any type of pornographic content for at least a month. It won't be easy, but if you stick it out for 30 days, you'll allow your brain to rest and recover from these dopamine spikes. During this month, focus on creating a routine that replaces the time you used to spend on porn with more constructive activities. This could include reading, exercising, learning a new skill, or spending more time with friends and family. It's crucial to occupy your mind and time with things that add value and make you feel fulfilled. I'm leaving a video in the card for more information. Besides that, you'll feel much better about yourself knowing that you're strong enough not to depend on this content. We'll look at some techniques to achieve this and what we can do after this first month. But the important thing is to take this seriously from the beginning. Your life is at stake, and if you want to have the best possible experience, you need to learn to deal intelligently with this highly manipulative superstimulus. 4. Introduce activities that generate natural dopamine. The next step is to accompany the restructuring of your reward system with activities that generate dopamine naturally. At first, it's normal not to feel like doing things that don't involve being in front of a screen, as your brain is used to that excessive dopamine. However, it's crucial to give your brain a way to feel good with activities that are beneficial. Why is it so important to generate natural dopamine? When you consume pornography, your brain receives a dopamine hit much greater than it would from normal healthy activities. This deregulates your reward system, making you less sensitive to the natural pleasures of life. To counteract this, it's necessary to introduce activities that generate dopamine in a moderate and sustained way, helping your brain recalibrate its sensitivity to pleasure. What activities can you do to generate natural dopamine? Here are some ideas. Physical exercise. Whether it's running, lifting weights, swimming, or practicing yoga, exercise is one of the most effective ways to generate dopamine. Plus, it improves your mood, energy, and self-confidence. Meditation. Meditating daily helps reduce stress and improve your ability to concentrate. Although it may seem difficult at first with practice, you'll start to enjoy the mental and emotional benefits it provides. I'm leaving a video in the card so you can see how I do it. Cold showers. Cold showers not only increase dopamine but also strengthen your immune system and improve circulation. Learning something new. Whether it's a language, a musical instrument, or a practical skill, continuous learning keeps your mind active and generates dopamine naturally. Social interaction. Spending time with friends or family is not only gratifying, but it's also an excellent way to generate dopamine through connection and mutual support. Establish a daily routine that includes time for work, exercise, reading, and meditation. Stay away from screens and allow your brain to recover and focus on activities that will make you a better person. The key is consistency. The more you commit to these new routines, the easier it will be for your brain to adapt and enjoy these new habits. 5. Move towards healthy and real sexuality. If you frequently turn to porn, it's probably because you don't have a fulfilling sexual life that satisfies you in reality. Becoming an attractive man who has good sexual experiences isn't easy, but it's much more rewarding than depending on pornography. The goal of this step is to help you develop a healthier and more satisfying sexuality. Here are some strategies to move towards a real and healthy sexuality. Learn about the dynamics of attraction. Understanding how attraction works will give you the tools to interact more effectively and attractively with women. Research. Read books on the subject, or even take a course if you feel it's necessary. Improve your physical appearance. This doesn't mean you need to become a magazine model, but taking care of your hygiene, dressing well, and staying in shape can boost your confidence and make you more attractive. Invest in clothes that fit well and make you feel confident. Take care of your personal scent, and consider using a good cologne. Practice social interaction. Talk to women occasionally, even if you don't have an immediate romantic interest. This will help you feel more comfortable and confident in your interactions with the opposite sex. Take care of your mental health. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Consider therapy if you feel it's necessary, especially if you're struggling with anxiety, depression, or any other emotional issues. It's work, I know, but any experience worth having requires effort. Healthy sexuality isn't built overnight, but the long-term benefits are worth it. Learning to enjoy real life and real relationships is one of the best decisions you can make for your well-being. If you find it really difficult and keep relapsing, it's perfectly valid to seek help from a professional psychologist. Not all of us have the same ease in resolving certain aspects of our lives, and if something is beyond our control, the smartest option is to seek help. I hope you took notes during this video and start working on what we've discussed today. If you like content creation and want to scale and monetize a project on social networks, you can check out my school, the Personal Mastery School, through the link I'll leave below. As always, I hope you have a great week and I'll see you soon. That's all for today. I'm leaving you a couple of videos to reinforce today's lesson. See you next time.